Distance made me realize you're not enough. She confessed on the phone, so I hung up and moved on. Now, her adventurer is in jail. She's broke and begging me to come back. And my life's never been better. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Throw our A for privacy, obviously. This is a long one, but if you've ever been in a long distance relationship that blew up in your face, stick around. It's got betrayal, quiet revenge, through living well, and some seriously poetic karma happened over the last couple of years. And looking back, it's almost funny how blind I was. But men, the turnaround feels good. I'll break it down chronologically because it's easier that way. The beginning, how we got here. I met Sarah online about 3 years ago. We were both in our early 30s. She in a bustling town a few states away, working in marketing. And me in my coastal city with a steady tech job. It started casual, chatting about shared interests like hiking and indie films. But it quickly turned serious. Within months, we were exclusive and I was all in. Long distance isn't easy, but I made it work because I believed in us. I was the loyal type. The guy who shows up every other weekend. I'd hop in my car for that 8-hour drive just to spend 48 hours with her. Flights when I could afford them. Surprise deliveries of her favorite coffee beans or books she'd mentioned wanting. I even passed up a promotion at work once because it would have meant relocating farther away. Didn't want to add more strain. Flashback to one of those visits. I'd driven through a storm, showed up, soaked at her door with takeout from that little Thai place she loved. She pulled me in laughing, and we spent the night talking about future trips we'd take together. You're my rock. Alex, she'd say, curling up against me. I ate it up, thinking this was it, the real deal. But over time, things shifted. Subtly, at first, she cancelled plans last minute, blaming work, stress, or needing space to recharge. Her social media started filling with posts about craving adventure and vague captions like, sometimes you outgrow the familiar. I'd brush it off as the distance wearing on her, but deep down, it gnawed at me. Why was I always the one initiating? Why did our calls feel like I was pulling teeth for details about her day? Then came the red flags. About 6 months ago, she started mentioning this guy Jake. A friend from a hiking group. Is such a free spirit. She'd gush. Always planning these spontaneous trips. I didn't think much of it until I saw a photo she posted. Them at a viewpoint, arms around each other, captioned, living on the edge with the best adventure buddy. Comments from her friends hyping it up. I confronted her gently over text. Didn't want to seem jealous, but she laughed it off. It's nothing. Alex, you're being paranoid. Distance is making you overthink. I swallowed it, but the doubt lingered. I'd sacrificed so much time, money, emotional energy to keep us connected. And it felt like she was pulling away nights alone in my apartment, staring at the ceiling. I'd wonder, am I enough? Is this just how LDRs go? Or is something off? I pushed through planning our next visit because that's what committed guys do, right? We don't bail at the first sign of trouble. Little did I know, trouble was already there. The betrayal, the call that ended it all, had hit on a random Tuesday evening. I was wrapping up work, excited because I'd booked tickets for her to visit me that weekend. My phone rang. Sarah. I picked up with a smile, but her tone was off, detached, almost rehearsed. Hey, Alex. She started, no warmth. We need to talk. My stomach dropped. What's up, everything? Okay. There was a pause, like she was steeling herself. Look, I've been thinking a lot lately. The distance, it's made me realize some things. You're great. Really. Stable. Reliable. But you're not enough for me anymore. I sat there stunned, gripping the phone. What do you mean? Not enough. She sighed, like I was being difficult. Come on. Alex, our life together. It's predictable. Weekend visits, the same routines. I need more excitement, more spontaneity. Jake, he's shown me that we clicked on one of those hikes and it's turned into something real. He makes me feel alive. Not like I'm just going through the motions. With you, it feels like an obligation sometimes. Like, I appreciate what we've had, but I've outgrown it. Distance made me realize you're not enough to bridge that gap. Her words landed like punches. Obligation. Outgrown. I'd driven through blizzards for her, sent money when she was short on rent, so she could pursue her passions. And now this Jake guy, the adventurer, was the upgrade. So you're cheating on me with him. I asked, voice steady, even though my chest tightened. It's not cheating if I'm ending it now. She snapped back, defensive. We've been emotional for a while. Yeah. But physically, it just happened recently. Don't make this dramatic. I'm being honest here. You deserve someone who matches your energy. The safe homebody vibe. Jake and I were planning trips. Real adventures. He's got this energy that pulls you in. You wouldn't get it. You're too content with the everyday. I could hear the smugness in her voice. Like she'd rehearsed this speech. Twisted logic. Blaming the distance instead of her choices. Justifying betrayal as growth. Part of me wanted to yell, to demand details, to beg her to reconsider, but something clicked. All those sacrifices flashing back, the missed opportunities at work, the lonely nights reassuring myself it was worth it. For what? To be discarded like yesterday's news? Okay. I said simply, okay. That's it. She sounded almost disappointed, like she'd expected a fight. Yeah. If that's how you feel, then we're done. I kept my tone even, no emotion leaking through. She huffed, well, all right then. I guess that's mature of you. Take care. Alex, maybe we'll catch up someday as friends. Don't count on it. I replied and hung up. I didn't cry or rage, just sat there in the silence of my apartment. The weight of it sinking in, confusion swelled. How could someone flip so callously? The unfairness burned. I'd been loyal, committed, and this was the thanks, but I didn't text her back or call to argue. Instead, I blocked her number, unfollowed her everywhere, and deleted our photos, detached, disappeared from her world. That night, I lay awake, the betrayal replaying. Why me? What did I miss? It felt outrageous, undeserved. But in the quiet, a resolve formed. No more chasing. Time to rebuild for myself. Little did I know, her adventure was about to crash hard. Post-breakup. The silence and the rebuild, the days after that call were a blur of quiet hurt. I didn't drown my sorrows in a bar or spam friends with rants. Instead, I sat with it, the confusion, the anger bubbling under the surface. Why had I poured so much in as someone who saw me as predictable? Flashback to last Christmas. I'd saved up to fly her out, decorated my place with lights she loved, even cooked a full dinner from scratch. She'd hug me tight, whispering, no one's ever done this for me. And now, discarded for some thrill seeker, it felt so undeserved. Like I've been played for a fool, but I didn't beg or confront. No drunk texts pleading for closure. I channeled it into myself. First thing, cancelled those tickets I'd booked. Got a refund and used it for a gym membership. Started running every morning, clearing my head with the ocean breeze in my city. Work-wise, I finally pursued that promotion I'd passed on before. Landed it within weeks. Better pay, more flexibility. I even picked up hiking on my own, tackling trails I'd always talked about with her. Solo adventures. No obligation. Internally, it evolved slowly. At first, vulnerable thoughts dominated. Was I really that boring? Did the distance excuse her betrayal? I'd replay her words. The smug twist in her logic, blaming geography for her cheating. Like it wasn't a choice. But as weeks turned to months, clarity came. This wasn't about me lacking, it was her selfishness. The unfairness stung, but sitting with it built resolve. This was a wake-up call. I told myself one night, staring at the stars from a solo camping trip, time to live without chasing approval. I heard nothing from her at first. Mutual friends mentioned she was living it up with Jake, posts about weekend getaways, her gushing about his energy. I unfollowed everyone connected, went radio silent, disappeared from her orbit. It was dignified, restrained. No drama. Just attachment. Then, about 3 months in, Karma started whispering a mutual friend, Emily, texted me out of the blue, not to check on me, but fishing for info. Hey, heard from Sarah, things with Jake imploded. I didn't bite, but curiosity got me, dug a little through a burner account. Don't judge. News articles popped up. Jake wasn't just an adventurer. He was a con artist, ran fake investment schemes for extreme travel experiences, promising big returns on group trips that never happened, scammed dozens. Including Sarah, he drained her savings, thousands she'd invested in his business, then ghosted her when the cops closed in, arrested for fraud. Facing years behind bars, Sarah left high and dry, lost her job because the stress tanked her performance, missed deadlines, emotional breakdowns at work. Friends distanced themselves once the truth spread. No one wanted association with the drama. She was isolated, broke, crashing on couches. Her post vanished, replaced by silence. I didn't gloat, just noted it with a nod. Justice felt earned, ironic. Her exciting upgrade was a fraud. While my boring stability had me thriving, but I let it breathe, focused on my art. Traveled solo to a mountain town we'd once dreamed of, hiked peaks alone, felt free. The middle dragged emotionally, but it deepened the reversal. I wasn't confused anymore. I was clear, calm, ready for whatever came next. Her attempts, the desperation builds. It started small, about 4 months post-breakup. A text from an unknown number, Hers, probably a new one since I blocked the old Alex. It's Sarah. Can we talk? I messed up big time. I ignored it. Then calls, voicemails piling up. The first one was apologetic. Voice shaky. Alex, please pick up. Jake. He wasn't who I thought. Turned out to be a liar. Scamming everyone. I'm in a bad spot now. Lost everything. I see now how good you were to me. Stable, kind. I was stupid to throw it away. Call me back. No sympathy from me. Deleted it. But she escalated. More texts. I know I hurt you, but give me a chance to explain. We had something real, then involving others, toxic as hell. Her mum called. Next number I hadn't blocked. Voice, sharp, unpleasant. Alex, this is Sarah's mother. How dare you ignore her after all she put up with in that long-distance nonsense? You owe her support. She's family to you still. Pick up the damn phone and be a man about it. I hung up mid-sentence, blocked her, to Emily, the mutual friend, texted manipulatively, dude, Sarah's wrecked. Jake used her, left her broke. She's saying you were the one. Just hear her out for old times. Ignored, but Sarah didn't stop. Showed up at my work one afternoon, unannounced, waiting in the lobby like a ghost from the past. Reception buzzed me. I could have sent her away, but curiosity won. Met her in a conference room. Door open for witnesses. She looked rough, disheveled hair, red eyes. Alex, thank God. I drove all night to get here. What do you want? Sarah, I asked. Torn flat, arms crossed. She teared up. I'm sorry. So sorry. Jake was a mistake. He chatted me. Promised the world, but it was all lies. He took my money, everything I'd saved. I'm crashing with friends. Can't pay rent. Work fired me because I couldn't focus. I realized now you were the real thing. Stable, reliable. I need you. We can start over. Right, I'll move here. Make it work. Her words dripped hypocrisy, echoing what she'd mocked before. Now, stability was a virtue. This isn't my problem. I said calmly, you chose this, but I didn't know. She pleaded, voice rising. Distance blinded me. Please. Alex, help me out. Just until I get back on my feet for us? No. I replied, firm. We're done. You made that clear. She shifted, desperate to angry. You're being cruel. After everything, I thought you cared. I did. Pestince. I stood, ending it. Leave, or I'll have security escort you. She stormed out, muttering curses. That night, angry voicemails flooded in, her true colors blazing. You heartless bastard. Ignoring me like I'm nothing. You'll regret this. Alex, I gave you the best years, and now you're too good. Fine. Rot alone in your boring life. But when you realize no one else wants your safe crap, don't come crawling back. Delete them all. Her attempts grew frantic. Emails from new addresses, even a letter to my apartment begging for one last talk. Friends and family kept pushing unpleasant and entitled like I owed her redemption. But it just confirmed I dodged a bullet. Her hypocrisy shown, desperate for what she'd dismissed. Power reversed. She unraveled while I stayed composed. The final encounter, closure, on my terms, 6 months after the breakup, I was in a coffee shop near my office. Routine stop for a midday brew. Life was good. Promotion solidified. New apartment with a view. Even started dating casually. Nothing serious but refreshing. I travelled solo to that mountain spot plus a beach getaway. Places we'd planned. Now mine alone felt evolved. Free from the confusion and walk, Sarah spotted me immediately. Belfour's smile. Coincidence maybe, or she'd stalked my routine. Either way, a mutual acquaintance from our old circle was at a nearby table. Emily. Actually, nursing a latte. Perfect twist. She'd witness it all. Alex. Sarah said, sliding into the seat uninvited. Fancy meeting you here. Can we talk for real this time? I sip my coffee, detached. What more is there? She leaned in, eyes pleading. I've hit rock bottom. Jake's in jail. Fraud, charges, stick. I'm drowning in debt. No job. Friends ghosted me after the truth came out. But seeing you, it reminds me what I lost. You were solid. Alex, I was wrong to say you weren't enough. Let's try again. I'll change. Move here. Be the partner you deserved. Hypocrisy peak. Now praising what she trashed, Emily glanced over. Eavesdropping. I set my cup down. Calm and firm. Sarah, your betrayal taught me something valuable. My worth isn't tied to fixing someone else's messes. I built a life without obligations like the ones you ran from. Traveled those places we talked about solo on my terms. Thriving at work. At peace. You're just a lesson now. One I've moved past completely. Her face crumpled. But I need you. Don't you care at all? I don't. I said simply, you're irrelevant to my happiness. I've moved on emotionally, fully. This conversation changes nothing. She flushed, anger flaring. You're different. Cold. What happened to the guy who drove hours for me? He learned. I replied philosophically from you, but that's the past. Goodbye. Sarah. I stood, nodded to Emily, who looked stunned, mouthing, good for you, and walked out, blocked her final frantic text that night. If you're reading this in a similar spot, trust me, sit with the hurt, detach with dignity, and let karma do its thing. I'm not thinking about her anymore. Life's too good for that. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story?